Zdarec všichni, zdravím všechny borce na YouTube, všichni v chatu, teďkom pozdravte YouTube borce, ať YouTube borci vidí, o co přichází, pokud nechodí na Twitch. Twitch.tv AdisBak, dneska si společně zareagujeme na celou historii glitchů a exploitů ve Warzone. Spousta z vás vždycky řekne, Adis, když byl Verdansk, tak ta hra byla nejlepší. No a dneska se podíváme, jaké glitche byly za Verdansku, protože ne, za Verdansku ta hra měla taky spoustu problémů, jenom prostě máte Verdansk spojený s tou dobou, kdy jste byli doma, byli jste šťastní, s kamarádama jste hráli, skoro jste nepracovali a prostě chápete mě, jo? Takže jdeme na to a taky nově mám pro vás novou spolupráci na měsíc, vždycky to mám jednou za čas, promouto. Pokud si teďkon založíte Twisto s mým kódem, který teďkon vidíte na obrazovce, anebo dole v popisku videa budete mít odkaz, tak získáte 500 korun a podpoříte mě. Když si založíte, vy dostanete 500 korun, který si můžete utratit jak chcete v podobě kreditu, pak to nemusíte využívat, anebo to můžete využít. Já Twisto používám skoro 10 let. No a jdeme se podívat na tohleto nové video. Budeme reagovat na video od Ornyplace. V popisu videa najdete originální video, pokud by vás nebavilo moje japování.
Call of Duty has never been a stranger to glitches and exploits, and I think a lot of people would argue it's part of the Call of Duty charm.
Kámo, jaký jede prostě tím trakem pod tou vodou. Dobré, já si k tomu asi stoupnu, ať můžu gestikulovat, jo, ať furt nesedím.
We all know and love. So since the launch of Warzone, it's no surprise that we've seen a ton of them throughout its over 4-year lifespan. So today I want to
Steam glitch na Verdansku byl nejvíc otravnej.
Go through the entire history of glitches and exploits in Warzone. Aside from glitches, we're also going to be including mechanics and items that were abused in a way the developers didn't have intended that became game-breaking. Also, I'm not including any guns for this list because I have a list for that already. From infinite health, invisibility...
OK, Borec má i video na nejvíc broken zbraně. Na to bychom si taky mohli zareagovat. Co říkáte? Chcete si zareagovat někdy v průběhu dalších streamů na nejvíc broken zbraně v celé historii Warzone? Já si myslím, že by to bylo docela zajímavý.
Disagreement to the laws of physics. There's a lot of glitches
čau všichni.
I forgot
Kámo, to dělal Big Boy Rush. Big Boy Rush takhle duplikoval ve Warzone 2 všechny field upgradey a hlavně on to dělal s loadoutama. On vždycky si zabugoval, naklonoval loadout a házel to všude po všech. To bylo hrozný hovno.
Go ahead and comment the most game-breaking glitch in Warzone.
Víte, co si pamatuju? Já možná najdu ten klip a dám ho do videa, který bude Peky stříhat na YouTube. Já si pamatuju, jak na kaldeře, když jste byli v takový té loděnici, tak vy jste se mohli zabugovat. Vy jste se mohli zabugovat do jednoho toho pilíře a byli jste neviditelný. Já měl takový nervy. Já jsem toho týpka zabil, ale fakt mě to naštvalo extrémně.
We've seen a couple different iterations of this, but the main one essentially just gave you unlimited tacticals. While having unlimited stuns is one way to troll someone, it was unlimited ruining endgames left and right. This glitch was actually super easy, which made it even more frustrating because anyone and everyone could do it. All you had to do was go down and get revived, and whenever you got revived, you just had to spam whichever tactical you had equipped, then you would have unlimited of that tactical. So this means that you could drop in and immediately do this glitch, then run out of bounds and spam stims for the rest of the game and get a 100%.
Schválně, kdo z vás si pamatuje tenhle ten otravný glitch, kdy jste byli 1v1 a týpek byl na druhé straně mapy? Sledujte to. Sledujte to. On si prostě zabugoval s tím a stimoval se. Furt. A strašně dlouho to bylo ve hře.
Gas exploits seem to just go hand in hand in Warzone, and trust me, this is not the last we're going to see of gas exploits on this list. Imagine having a good game, maybe you're even on PR pace, and you make it to the last zone, destroying all enemies in your path, only to have the final circle close on you with no other enemy in sight, and then you die to the gas with absolutely
Kámo, kolikrát se nám to stalo.
Common occurrence just after Warzone launched. The births have been a staple of Warzone.
Včera, když jsme reagovali na Warzone video, tak tyhle ty Berty, a.k.a. tyhle ty nákladní traky, tak byly nejvíc broken, protože vy jste mohli prostě zatočit o 90 stupňů instantně hned.
Ever since launch, and we're even included in Call of Duty Blackout. I think part of the reason it's the only vehicle with the nickname is because of how dominant and relevant they used to be. Seriously, the launch berthas were a completely different kind of animal. The main difference in pre-patch berthas was the turn radius, acceleration, and overall speed was seriously no different than that of the four-wheeler, it felt like. Oh, and also, it was pretty much impossible to shoot the driver even if
ono to chat bylo stejně rychlý a mobilní jako čtyřkolky.
You were aiming directly at them. Once people caught on to how good the berthas were, Warzone was immediately polluted with bertha endgame abusers. It seriously created a vehicle meta that was a viable tactic for just farming wins early on. You were pretty much driving an armored truck with all the same speed traits and like handling traits as a four-wheeler. And your car can turn quick, is super fast overall, and pretty much indestructible even if you're shooting directly at the driver. This makes for a pretty unfair and unbalanced play.
Kámo, jako přejel prostě.
Endgames today were bad. You haven't seen anything till there's multiple berthas in the final circle and Warzone just turns into a game of twisted metal. Seriously, Seriously, if you've been playing Warzone since launch, I want you to comment how many games you've lost to birth of trolls.
Neviditelný glitche. Je to shortly after launch, to znamená, že tyhle ty glitche jsou potom, co ta hra vyšla, jo, na Verdansku, chat.
There's another extremely easy glitch that had insane benefits. The Rose and Groot skins were a major point of controversy in Warzone, since you could often blend into your surroundings and...
Pokud se nepletu, tak Rose skin, který byl extrémně OP, protože byl černý, vy jste nebyli skoro vůbec vidět, pokud jste nehráli Verdansk, tak jste ho mohli získat jenom a pouze v Battle Passu. To bylo přes Battle Pass, Rose skin.
Seemingly vanish into thin air. But what if I told you there was a way to actually disappear in Warzone? Well, with this glitch, that was possible.
Kámo!
All you had to do was buy a loadout and stand directly underneath the marker and let it crush you. If done correctly, you would be clipped into the crate, but would eventually be...
Počkej, ty když si hodil loadout drop, o tady tom glitchi třeba vůbec nevím, ty když si hodil loadout drop a spadl ten loadout na tebe, tak jsi byl neviditelný.
Spat back out and on your screen everything would be normal.
Jo, když jsi byl ty v loadoutu. Jo, to si pamatuju, to je pravda, to si pamatuju. Jo, ty jsi byl neviditelný jenom v tom loadoutu, že jsi byl schovaný. Ne, nebyl, kámo! Ty jsi byl celou dobu neviditelný. There's also a way to do this with takže vy jste to mohli udělat i s helikoptérou.
Where you would go prone underneath the armored truck during Armored Royale and once again you become invisible. I'm not sure what caused this to happen. It might be something with the collision. I don't really...
Já si pamatuju jeden glitch, když na Verdansk přidali helikoptéry, který měli minigun, tak vy jste se nějak mohli glitchnout, že jste byli nesmrtelný. To si pamatuju, že nám extrémně na to vadilo.
No, but I hope something like this never ever happens again.
Nekonečný Steam efekt. Caldera launch.
This is similar to the stim glitch, but this was more like unlimited stim effect. It wasn't too game breaking, but for sure it gave you the upper hand in most
Caldera.
fights. If you wanted to move two lines of G fuel until you died, you needed to jump from a height that would kill you, but before you hit the ground, use your stim and then revive yourself. Once revived, you had a permanent stim effect. This meant you not only ran faster, but the biggest advantage you had was a super long slide. I mean, seriously, it was...
Takže, abyste mohli tenhle ten glitch udělat v minulosti, tak jste museli spadnout z velké výšky a dát si před tím pádem jako stimku. To taky nevím, že byl nějaký stim efekt, který vám dával jako slide jak svině.
Like you're playing Apex Legends. However, to put this thing into overdrive was using dead silence alongside this and you actually became like the fastest you could ever move.
Počkej, a ty si mohl popnout ještě dead silence a ono ti to ještě víc zrychlilo.
In Warzone on foot. It was pretty much like you had stamina up, lightweight, marathon and juiced all active at once.
Ne, letadla, o tom jsem mluvil v předchozím videu, který měli speciální ještě aim assist plus a byli lidi, kteří jenom lítali v letadlech na kaldeře na začátku a dávali 40 bomby jak nic. To bude 100% ono.
Similar to Bertha's, this is just another example of something not functioning the way they had intended in Warzone. I don't know how this always happens, but whoever does the demos for these and like beta testing and whatnot needs to get fired. Alongside Caldera, we got the planes, which not only brought one of the worst maps into Warzone, but also one of the most no-skill methods.
S tím nesouhlasím. Ta Caldera byla v pohodě. Jakože ta hra byla v otřesném stavu, ale Caldera mi přišla fajn docela.
Kills we've ever seen. Across Caldera, there were several pilotable planes that were twice as broken as the Berthas, making them the most broken vehicle we've ever seen. They were fast, which made it very difficult to the person flying them or hit the vehicle whatsoever with an explosive. Compare that to a helicopter, which as long as you're facing them head on, shooting at the pilot was pretty easy. Planes were also really easy to fly.
A to mi řekni, že předtím, než něco takového dali do hry, tak to třeba netestovali. Že se na to úplně vykašlali. To nemohli přece zkoušet. Kdyby to zkoušeli, tak by to tam nenechali.
Navigate around the map, had decent durability, and they would even lock onto enemies for you without having to really aim at them. But the main factor with the planes that was so broken that really convinces me that they didn't even bother testing out the values before releasing was the raw damage output. There is countless footage of people exploiting these planes, and even in my kill record video, the kill record on Caldera is held by Hisocat, who got 34 kills before setting foot on ground. Yes, 34 kills with a plane. The meta for the longest time was finding the nearest plane off drop and immediately find a team flying in and wipe them before they even got the chance.
A hlavně ty helikoptéry se pořád respawnovaly, to znamená, teda helikoptéry, ty letadla, to znamená, že když jste ho pak zahodili, jednou za čas si letadla se pořád objevovaly na mapě. Oni to pak dali pryč, vy jste tam měli i bombardér na Caldeře, ale to bylo broken, protože pak jste vyskočili a vzali se si vlastně nový letadlo. Jo, turety v helikoptérách. A to byl teda Vanguard, druhá sezóna Reloaded. A to je podle mě, o čem jsem mluvil, že jste mohli být vlastně nesmrtelný díky tomu. Díky, kámo.
As part of Vanguard Season 2 Reloaded, we had Rebirth Reinforced, which added a ton of new features to Rebirth, one of which were the helicopters that had turrets on each side. While I do like this idea and would love to see it added to one of the BR maps like Urzikstan, this simply was not meant to be on Rebirth Island. Shortly after realizing how broken these turrets were, people were immediately going...
Jinak by the way, tuhletu helikoptéru, tak jsme ji viděli, když jsme byli v Hradci za týpečkem, který nám ukazoval helikoptéry v rámci Subatonu chat. Tak ty helikoptéry tam byly. A říkal to, že jsou i takhle mobilní, jak byly ve Warzone, tak jsou mobilní i v realitě, jako v reálu.
These helicopters, parking them on top of a water tower or another vantage point and wreaking havoc on the entire lobby. Specifically on water
to musela být zábava, chat.
See the entire map aside from stronghold living quarters and control. But if you were literally outside anywhere
Vemte si, že sledujete někoho na streamu, jak streamuje a je na vodní věži celou hru a střílí jenom z helikoptéry.
Pretty much like shooting a laser. Like I just said, you are very vulnerable when you're in a helicopter, but if you started taking shots, you would immediately outdamage them because the turret was just that good. It's one thing to commit vehicular manslaughter with helicopters, that's a core Warzone mechanic, and more power to you if that's your thing. These turrets were broken beyond belief. These helicopters saw a very short lifespan as they were taken out of the game shortly after they were added because of all the negative feedback, and if I'm not mistaken, they've never been brought back since.
Nekonečná gasmaska. Warzone 2, když vyšel Warzone 2, hned na začátku. Dozi, čauko, zítra se vidíme.
I never got to use, but basically this was a stim glitch but on steroids. Find a gas mask and then go to a stronghold and kill a bot. You also needed a medium or large backpack because this was all possible due to the stowing a third gun mechanic. Now you drop your gas mask near the bot's dropped gun, look at their gun but slowly strafe towards the gas mask, and once you're prompted to pick up your gas mask, instead stow the gun. Not only will you duplicate a gas mask into your inventory, it will also have a zillion...
Ty vole, kdo to vymýšlí, jak na to ty lidi přijdou? Víš, jak na to ty lidi přijdou, že prostě tohle to uděláš a pak najednou, hele, mám nekonečnou gasmasku. A občas mi přijde zajímavý, co ty lidi všechno zkouší, aby na to přišli vůbec.
When it comes to durability. And apparently 50,000% is enough to survive a whole entire game in the gas. So yes, just another example of storm-related items not working how they're supposed to.
Infinite Battle Rage Dead Silence. To byl field upgrade. Battle Rage už není ve hře teď končet, pokud se nepletu. A jsou tam taky ty klacíky, na který se často ptáte.
This is pretty much the same as the unlimited stim effect during Warzone Pacific, but with Dead Silence and Battle Rage, which I would argue is more broken. The way you did it was super easy. Once again, another shocker. You had to use Dead Silence or Battle Rage, then manually equip a different field upgrade to your field upgrade slot. If that sounds too difficult for you, you could just use Dead Silence, then go to a buy station and buy a munitions box, since that would equip it to your field upgrade slot automatically. Unlike a lot of glitches on this list, I think this one was pretty preventable. I think using Dead Silence or Battle Rage, then buying a munitions box isn't exactly like out of the ordinary, so I think they could have detected this. Anyways, I really don't...
Jo, tady na to přijdeš asi úplně jednoduše. Mě lidská kreativita baví a hlavně ve videohrách. Jak najdeš easter egg, který má 20 kroků, jak postupovat, ještě to časově omezené a musíš vědět, kam jít. No to je třeba i v zombíkách, že jo? Na to lidi musí přicházet a vem si, že ona vyjde nová zombie mapa a jako za pár hodin je ten easter egg dodělaný, což mi přijde taky crazy. Ale chápu, že ty lidi to baví tohle to dělat. Chápu, že z toho máš ten dopamin, tu jakoby zábavu. Nevím, jakože tyhle jako glitche mi přišly vždycky jako zvláštní tím, že lidi museli zkoušet divný jako kombinace a divný věci, že jo. Battlefield? Jo, zkoušel jsem, když vyšel.
I would never want unlimited battle rage because your screen gets all yucky and your footsteps are louder and your guns just kind of feel really clunky with the recoil. The real game-breaking factor here was having unlimited dead silence. Warzone footstep audio is probably one of the most inconsistent features we've ever seen. Sometimes it's super loud, sometimes you can't hear it all. Having absolutely no regard for footsteps for the entire game just because you know you have a limited dead silence makes for a completely different experience. The amount of times
Hlavně já jsem nechápal to, proč by do hry, která má tak špatný audio, přidávali field upgrade, který ti to audio vypne. To mi nikdy nedávalo smysl.
Sniping on a building just to be overtaken by someone with no audio is super frustrating, and I think at launch of Warzone 2, this was the main reason for that. I would almost put this up there with the invisibility glitch since it created situations you had absolutely no chance in winning no matter how much better you were than someone. Dead silence has become one of the rarest items in Warzone today, and I hope it stays that way because when anyone can have it permanently, it breaks the game.
Field Upgrade Duplication, Warzone 2 post-launch, to znamená hned, když vyšel Warzone 2, a to je o čem jsem mluvil. Jste si mohli naduplikovat třeba munition box a nebo loadout, a pak jste mohli házet 20 loadoutů a já si pamatuju, jak mi takhle Rašo jednou schodil hru celou.
So this, I guess, also can give you unlimited battle rage and dead silence, but not in the same way. This will simply duplicate whatever field upgrade you want. I never knew how to do this, and even after watching several videos for this video, I still don't understand.
Jo, s tím shockstickem mi to Rašo právě ukazoval a říkal mi, ať to natočím, ale já většinou glitche jako nenatáčím. I když to by mělo asi schlídnutí, možná bych měl začít.
Understand it. Basically, it's stowing, using, and equipping a field upgrade at the exact same time, and it will pretty much spawn in whatever field upgrade you were going to pick up. I don't really understand it. Don't really care to either. Personally, don't think this was all that broken until people started using this to duplicate munitions boxes in the final circle and just spam stims the entire game. Once again, getting a guaranteed win. But this is nothing like a stim glitch because it actually required like a lot of like manual inputs and like you could easily mess it up. Other than duplicating munitions box for stims in the final circle, this was a very mild exploit.
Podvodní track. Warzone 3 launch. Oni tomu říkají Warzone 3, ale myslí jako Modern Warfare 3, kdy se integroval Urzikistán.
New Warzone engine means a slew of new bugs to come along with it, one of which allows you to turn your Bertha into a submarine. All you needed was a Bertha and a body of water.
Úplně teď jsem si uvědomil, jak strašně dlouho je tady s náma Urzikistán. Že už prostě ten Urzikistán hraje fakt extrémně dlouho, kámo.
As soon as it was fully submerged, you would lean out of it, and somehow this made the Bertha treat the water as if it wasn't there at all. Like, seriously, you were just driving normal as if it was ground, and you could also breathe underwater forever. I think this glitch is hilarious, and sure, it is frustrating if you get killed by someone like this, but the only way you can like really make it work is if you have a water endgame, which I guess isn't out of the ordinary. The most broken part about it is that you could still lean out of your car and shoot your fully automatic primaries instead of just.
Takže ty si mohl vlastně z toho auta vykouknout a střílet normálně, jak kdybys nebyl pod vodou, no, tak to bylo docela broken. Irradiated Quick Fix Warzone 3 Season 2. Irradiated je perk, díky kterému můžete být mimo zónu, prostě v gasu, a podle mě vám to nebere vám to pláty.
When Season 2 of Warzone 3 arrived, I'm not sure if they reworked the Irradiated perk.
Kámo, s tímhle borcem jsme hráli, ten dělá skvělý content. Tenhle týpek Cole dělá vlastně content, že dává viny vlastně bez skillu. A to bylo úplně, kámo, ten musel mít contentu 3 zadky. Dokonce s ním máme video tady na YouTube.
For some reason during Season 2, if you use both these perks together, you had another potential of living in the gas forever. Irradiated was a new perk to Warzone 3 that let you move faster in the gas and also take less damage. Then Quick Fix would
Jo, ty jsi mohl pohybovat rychle, když jsi byl vlastně v té zóně.
Okay. When you started plating up. So this created a gas play cheese
to si pamatuju.
Spamming plates in the gas, which would let you...
Takže vlastně vy, když jste se plátovali mimo zónu a měli jste ten perk, tyhle ty 2 perky, Quick Fix a Irradiated, tak vlastně se vám doplňovalo zdraví, že jo? Takže jediné, co stačilo, je mít pláty. Jo, sledujte, on se vyplátuje a hned mu to dá zdraví.
Live in the storm forever. I guess the health regen was moving faster than the health taken from the storm, so as long as you had a bunch of plates, you could live in the gas forever. Pretty much every plate you had was a stim, and you could like stow a zillion of them. You could also have armor boxes. There's even this gameplay where like you'd purposely keep a thermite grenade on you so you take damage.
Kámo, jak si schválně dává damage, aby a ho to healovalo.
So throw on the fact that you probably have a gas mask and stims as your tactical. I mean, it was just absolutely broken. But with a lot of glitches in Warzone 3, this was removed very quickly after they found it.
Nuke Contract. S Nuke Contractem si pamatuju pár glitchů, nebo co se nám stávalo nejčastěji, bylo to, že se nám ten prvek, tak se nám glitchnul do nějakého objektu, třeba do fontány nebo do nějaký bedny, která tam byla, a nešel pak vzít.
Season 3 of Warzone 3, we got beloved Rebirth Island, and alongside that, a new Champions quest exclusively for Rebirth, which is also the first time.
To bylo hrozně těžký, mi přišlo. To nešlo skoro udělat, ty vole.
I've ever seen a Champions quest in Resurgence. This quest is notoriously hard, and I actually just attempted it last week and got absolutely rolled on. Barely even got the first element. Anyways, there was a way to complete this contract and receive all the rewards for it within seconds of starting a game. Basically, after you got your nuke contract unlocked, you load into a game and start an intelligence contract, and you know how you like use the.
Jo, počkejte, ono to šlo nějak hacknout a šlo to nějak bugnout, že se to nějak odpálilo rychle.
Nebo? You would use it to hack the nuke contract and it would immediately complete it. Although the game wouldn't end and the bomb would go off, the game would think you completed.
Jo, to se hodně řešilo, to si pamatuju, to není tak dlouho. To je třeba 3/4 roku naspátek, když se tohle to dělalo.
Camo, the calling card, the charm, the operator skin, and emblem would immediately be rewarded to your locker, giving one of, if not the hardest achievement in all of Warzone history, the easiest exploit to complete it. Anyways, this only lasted a few days, and I don't know if the people who did it were still allowed to keep the rewards after it was patched, and now there is no intelligence contract in the game to prevent this until they fix that bug. Kinda disrespectful to the people.
Ono to trvalo docela dlouho, než to fixnuli, že to trvalo třeba do mid-season updateu. Paulo, měj se, kámo, čauko.
I wanted to dedicate the last spot
Díky,
on this video
díky.
to any and all glitch spots throughout Warzone, because there have been way more than you would ever think, and if I were to like include every single one on this list, this video
To je přesně to, co šlo udělat na kaldeře, to jsem úplně nesnášel, ty vole.
A
na Vondelu, kámo, to bylo. Na Vondelu je spoustu míst, kde lidi se mohli dostat přes vodu a takhle někam se probugovat a vyhrávat hry. A my, když jsme na Vondelu pak dělali nuke, tak si pamatuju, že jsme na to hrozně nadávali a Péťa to chudák nedával už.
I swear, some people don't even like the game, but just load into private matches just to find any and all spots like these. It's been a staple to COD forever, so it's no surprise that there's already a million on Rebirth Island, and I'm sure there'll only be more to come. But that's all the glitches and exploits in Warzone history. There are a handful of other glitches and exploits in Warzone, but I really wanted to focus on the ones that were prominent and really game-breaking. You know, there's like a breathe underwater glitch right now. There's also been glitches that like give you infinite money. If there's any other glitches you think I should have mentioned in this video, please leave them down below. I'm sure there's a
Kámo, jak můžeš lítat?
handful I missed. Also, I wanted to give a huge shout out to everyone who's been supporting and watching my channel. I just hit 10,000 subscribers last week, actually like a couple days ago as of me recording this. It's crazy, I just started like taking this channel a little bit more seriously earlier this year, and we're already seeing 10,000 subscribers. That is something I never...
Tak co, chat? Jaký byl váš nejoblíbenější glitch? To mi napište teď do chatu, jsem zvědavej. Vy na YouTube mi to napište do komentářů. Jsem zvědavej na vaše nejoblíbenější nebo nejotravnější glitche. A my se uvidíme u dalšího videa. Mějte se krásně. Já jdu pokračovat ve streamu. Dneska máme hry s diváky, tak se stavte taky na Twitch. Nezapomeňte mrknout na to Twisto. 500 pro vás, 500 pro mě. Je to 50-50, můžeme si pomoct. A uvidíme se u dalšího videa nebo na streamu. Mějte se krásně. Ahoj.